Hey guys, it's Shayna. I am just going to do a quick training for you about how to create an ad on Facebook from your like page. I know some of you are looking into exploring this avenue for finding new challengers and new coaches for your team, and you wanted some information about it. So I just thought I'd do a quick training call so you guys have access to it. Different coaches have different ways of doing this, so I'll show you what I do personally and then kind of give you some ideas of how to branch off from that, and then people that may choose other options, and then you can reach out to them if that's something that appeals to you. Feel free to send me questions anytime, obviously, or your upline coach may be familiar with it also. So I'm just going to share my screen with you really quick. Okay. So we're here, and you guys can see my screen. So the first things first is you need to be in Google Chrome. The Ads Manager Power Editor is where we're going to be doing our ads, and Power Editor doesn't work in Safari or Firefox. So make sure that you have your Google Chrome browser open. You're going to go here to Ads Manager. And then, sorry, it's taking a minute. Okay, and then you want to go to Power Editor right here. Okay, so here's, you're going to see your screen of stuff. This is all information we can get into later if you guys want to learn about checking out how your ads have been going or what's been most successful, whatever. So anyway, first thing you're going to do, so you're going to have a campaign, which is going to be like the overall umbrella talking about your ad, and then you're going to have an ad set, which is where you set your budget, you set your like the way you want people to engage with your ad, and then down here is where you actually create the ad. So right here we're going to create a new one. So we'll just do create campaign, create new. I'm going to call this training ad, and then we want to do auction. Okay, so for me personally, I do page post engagement because I want people to comment below my ad and say, I'm interested. At that point, I send them a friend request. I engage in private conversation. Now, I have tried different avenues of contacting people. This is what works for me personally. Now, everybody does something a little bit different. I know Jessie, who's my coach, uses clicks to website, and she includes a link to an online application where people fill out their name, their phone number, and answer a few simple questions about maybe what they're struggling with and what their goals are. And then that way she has their contact information, and she picks up the phone and she gives them a call. Or she'll text message them and set up a time for a call. I know Alicia does that too, but instead of using an application, she includes a link to a private group on Facebook that she uses as an information page about the 21-day fix. So that's also another avenue. That way you can kind of funnel everyone in there. They all look at the same information to save you time in your private conversations, and then you can engage them behind the scenes. I've tried all of them. For me personally, just one-on-one private conversations is what works the best. So that's what I'm going with right now. Every once in a while I switch it up and try another route, but we'll talk about page post engagement right now. We're going to create a new ad set. We'll call it training ad to keep them all together, and then create a new ad, training ad. So here's where we are. So we have this. You can set a limit for your for how much you want to pay for this. I do. I just, I set it. Higher budgets seem to perform better, but you can keep an eye on how much you are spending and turn your ad off once you get to a certain point. So say, you want to set the budget at like $250, but shut it off when it gets to 50 or something like that. That way, if you sell one challenge pack, you've at least paid for your ad. Obviously the idea is to get more than that, but you just want to keep an eye on it, and I'll show you where to look for that. So you're here. So I'm just going to we'll do 100 for today. Okay, so that's that. And then you want to come to your ad set. We're going to go to training ad. So daily budget, I'm just going to stick with my lifetime budget. I like to make it match. So we do that. And then it's going to start right away as soon as my ad is approved. And then you can schedule an end, or you can just run it until your budget runs out, until you decide to turn it off. You can do whatever you want to do. So if you, let's say we'll run it until Wednesday morning. We'll just do that for, training purposes. Over here, you want to keep an eye on this. Your estimated reach, once you edit your audience, you want to try to keep it, you want to be in the millions. I like to keep mine above 15 million. And I'll show you how that gets affected in just a minute. So down here, new audience, we'll go to edit audience. Everyone's target audience is going to be a little bit different. I like to go for all women ages 25 to 45. That's just when I look at the insights on my like page, Babies and Barbells. So here, look, we're looking at 44 million people. That's amazing. When I look at the insights from my business page, that is my, it's a little bit closer, maybe like 30 to 42 would be a little bit narrower of a demographic, but I'll open it up just a little bit. I do like to add Canada because we can do Canada. So now we have upped our reach. If you want to target certain cities, sometimes I do that right after we had Summit in Nashville. I specifically targeted Nashville. I included a picture in my ad of the super workout we did on Broadway because people that were seeing the ad would recognize it and they would know what I was talking about. I said, thank you, Nashville, for hosting us. I invited people to join my challenge group and, put a quick little comment in there about who knows, maybe you'll just be crazy enough to join us on Broadway next year. Just something specifically targeted to us because we were all over the news and Beachbody was kind of known at that point in Nashville. So that was a fun way to target a certain city. If you want to, target more affluent areas that you're familiar with in your state or something like that, there's just different ways you can do it. Most of the time, I just stick with all of US and Canada. You can go in here. I usually don't play with these too much because this is all stuff that Facebook guesses. Like, people don't put how much income they make. People don't really put if they own a home or not. That's literally, Facebook just guesses on that, so I don't really mess with those. For language, I like to put English because that's helpful. Interests. So this is where you can narrow it down a little bit if you want to. You can come into fitness and wellness and add, nutrition. But once you do that, notice how your potential reach changes. So I'm going to remove this because that was far too low. I personally, my business page, the title is Babies and Barbells. So I specifically, resonate well with that market, with young moms. So sometimes for my interests, I put, breastfeeding or postpartum fitness or prenatal fitness or stuff related to the, parenting toddlers, stuff like that. So anyway, think about stuff that you would have in common with your target market. And you can play around with the interest a little bit. Just make sure you're staying above 15 million up here if you want to do that. I don't really do anything with behavior, so we'll just save this. Okay, so we're good here. When you come down to placement, always uncheck desktop right column. That is actually against Beachbody policies and procedures. Please uncheck that. We're going down here. Optimize for post engagement is what I want to do. And then down here, sorry, we want to go to clicks. That's what we want. And then when this little price box pops up, the suggested bid is 16 cents. I go 2 cents over that. It's just what works. That's what I was always taught to do. It's what'll get approved. So, so that's what I do there. And then, so that's all good. So we're still at 33 million. We're good there. Now we're going to come down to ads. And now we get to create our ad. So There's my Babies and Barbells page. You must have a like page in order to run an ad. You cannot run it from your personal page. So that's a huge benefit. Now, I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, you can run ads as soon as you open your like page, but I personally waited until I had some content for people to look at on my like page and get a sense of who I was and what I was about. Because if I saw an ad running and I clicked on, I saw an ad running from Babies and Barbells and I clicked on it to go to the page and there was nothing there, I'd be like, who is this person? What are they talking about? You know what I mean? But now if somebody goes, I've been posting for months and they can look and see kind of what my life is about, what my message is. So I would, before you invest money in an ad, I personally would recommend to just be consistent with your posting over there. Post, 3, 4, 5 times a day if you want. But the great thing about a like page is you can actually pre-schedule your posts, and I'll show you guys really quickly how to do that in just a second. But so you're not spending all day at the computer. You can schedule your stuff out for the week, for the next day, whatever you want. Anyway, so you can use an existing post if you want, something that's already up, maybe something that got a ton of traction, a lot of likes and comments. Or what I usually do is create a new ad. So you select your image. These are all images that I've used before, but we'll just do, this is one that usually gets some good traction, a picture that I made in Pic Collage. It's pretty cool. And then you just write whatever text you want, I'm just going to put test here, but just so you guys can see where it comes up. But your text will be right here, talking about who feels like they've fallen off the fitness and nutrition train, since the kids went back to school. Who needs a little extra motivation and accountability to hop back on the wagon? What if I gave you, a portion control system, recipes, a nutrition guide, 30-minute workouts on DVD, support and accountability, blah, blah, blah. Write all that in your ad for people to read. Make it, catch their interest. Be awesome. I don't know what else to say. So we're going to do that. So that's good. And then after that, I think we're good. Yeah. So we have our campaign all set. We have our ad set all done. We're good there. And then we have our ad. So we're good there. Always proofread this a million times. Have somebody else, have your spouse come in and double check it for you. And then you just upload changes and that's it. I'm not going to do that because I don't actually want to run this. But that's it. That's all you do. It's super simple. And then depending on what time of day it is or what day of the week it is, sometimes they get approved in like 5 minutes and sometimes they get approved in like 3 hours. It just depends. So, but you'll get an email and a Facebook notification telling you that your stuff has been approved. So let's go back to the home page really quick. And then I'll show you guys. So over here is where you're going to see your ads that are running. These are ones that have completed already, but you can see, it'll show you right here how much you've spent so far. So then you can, if you see that it's hit $50, you can go in and shut it off or whatever your personal limit is. Let me show you guys how to schedule your post really quick. So here's my page. If I wanted to, we'll do test. Schedule it out. You just hit this little arrow and then schedule. And then say I wanted to post it tomorrow morning, the 17th at 6 a.m. That's it. And then you hit schedule and then it'll go. So that's really great. You don't have to use Hootsuite or anything like that for your like page. Here, I won't be creepy anymore. So you don't have to use Hootsuite or Tiny Torch or Postcron or anything like that to schedule things out for your like page. I usually reserve those for my groups if I need to, or for my personal page, but that's the great thing about a like page. So I try to focus most of my health and fitness stuff over there, and then my kind of on the fly, family stuff is over on my personal page. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. If you have questions about creating an info group, Alicia is a great person to talk to about that. If you've got questions about creating an application for people to provide their contact information for you, Jesse is a good person to ask about that, or any of the other other coaches, sometimes we do that too. So I won't go into that too much on this training call. I'll keep it pretty basic for you guys. But I was going to show you one more thing. Hang on. Here we go. What was I going to say? I'm losing my train of thought. Let me show you one of my ads really quick and kind of what, when people comment on it. So here we go. We'll go up to notifications. Let me go down to one of my ads that I ran. Here we go. So when people comment on my ad, more info, please, yes, but whatever, I send them a message, and I send them a friend request, and then I said, if you can't send them a friend request, sometimes I'll reply in here, hey, Alicia, because of your privacy settings, I can't send you a friend request. Would you mind shooting me one? And actually right here, what I should have done, you can change who you're commenting as. Use your personal page, especially if your name is different on your like page. So like here, if I send them a friend request from Shana Anderson, they're gonna be like, who is this girl? So now this is an old ad. What I try to do is comment back from my personal account and say, hey, I shot you a friend request so we can chat more via private message about my upcoming challenge group. Then when they see my friend request, they know who it is and who it's coming from. So I've had better luck doing it that way. So that's what I would recommend. So, I mean, you can see all the comments on my ad. It's just a really simple way to keep track. For me personally, that's how I stay organized. Everybody's a little bit different, but let me know if you have any questions. Talk to your upline coach. We've all been running ads for a long time. So they work. They definitely do work. I've always at least made enough back to pay for my ad. Sometimes they really take off and I make a lot more than that. So just kind of depends. You got to play with it a little bit. The picture is huge. That's what catches people's eye. So make your picture really like eye-catching, popped with color. It can't be more than 20% text or Facebook won't approve it. So anyway, let us know if you have any questions. Hope this is helpful.